Good morning. So I have been trying to take it a day at a time. I am so used to overthinking, over planning, stressing about the worst case scenario, with everything going on currently, with trying to figure out the situation with my brother and see what we need to do to get him set for when I'm not here. And then the past with my mom and my dad and my grandma, I've learned to slow things down. I am the one that's always stressing. I honestly don't know what it feels like to not stress. I feel like I have stressed for most of my life, and with the stress comes the depression. But I want to tell you about good things that are happening in my dreams. My mother was able to appear in my dreams a few times. I have 3 different dreams that I am so happy and so blessed to have had with my mom. I asked my God to, if she is able to be at peace and still visit me, that he allow her to do so, and she's done just that. The first dream was the day after the funeral. I realized with all of the emotions and the hesitance of seeing my mom in the casket, I didn't get to touch her hands. When she was passing, her hands were in mittens because she was moving them a lot and trying to take out her IVs, and she had 3 separate IVs and they needed to stay in her. So I wasn't able to hold her hand, and everybody wants to be able to get one last hold, one last grip of their loved ones when they passed. So I didn't get to do that when she was passing, and I really did not do it. When we were at the funeral, I was kind of more focused on her face and just trying to just take it easy as much as possible, know that my mother's soul is in heaven, and to see her body there, it was hard. So I went home from the funeral, and I was thinking about everything, and I realized that I was not able to touch my mom's hand one last time, and that upset me. So the following night, I woke up and I was able to give my mom a hug. For some reason in the dream I had 4 hours, so my mom was telling me, okay, we need to do as much as we can because we have 4 hours to be together. And then those 4 hours, it was quick in my dream, but she was able to give me a hug, and I was able to feel her hugging me. And that was such a beautiful thing. I was able to give my mom a hug one last time via my dream world. The second dream I had was, I think earlier this week, that my daughter was taking a bath. I had just given her a bath, my baby, the 1.5-year-old. I gave her a bath, and in my dream, she was taking another bath, and my mom was giving her the bath. So I look at my mom in my dream, and I said, what happened? She just took a bath. And she told me, well, I decided to give her another bath. And so in my dream, you can see my little baby standing up in the bathtub, soaking wet, her bangs to the front, and she was just happy as can be, taking her bath. She was standing up. And so in that scene in my dream, I see my daughter smiling, and then my mom right there next to her, watching her. She always used to tell me, you gotta watch the kids. Make sure that when they're taking a bath, you're there, because things could happen, and it only takes a few seconds. So that was my second dream. And then my third dream was last night. As I wake up and the time passes, you end up forgetting most of the dream, but I remember in my dream that I was able to give my mom another hug, and it was a long, deep hug, and she was wearing yellow. You know what, I think I had another dream too, so I had a total of 4 dreams. So that was my dream last night, is her embracing me and me embracing her, giving her a hug, and wearing yellow. And then in between that second and third dream, I did have another one, because I was really having a hard time last week with the grieving. So in that dream, I saw my mom outside in our old house where I was raised in Bonita Springs, and she was in the back sitting down on a table and chair out there getting some sun like she used to do. And I go up to her and I sit down and I start bawling my eyes out in my dream, saying how stressed I am. And And she looked at me and she grabbed my hand and she said, Navi, stop stressing. It's going to be okay. And it was a reassurance that I need to just slow things down in my mind and just take one day at a time and try and take it easy. It's a lot that I'm having to do now with figuring out life and how life looks, being a motherless mother and having my brother who's an adult, but he is special needs, and it's another child for me that I have to care for. So I know it's a lot, but I know that my mother is right there next to me, and she is trying to calm me down and bring me back to earth, per se, ground me. And I love that I was able to have those dreams so far. It is making the grieving a little bit more bearable because I'm still able to see little glimpses of my mom and still embrace her and give her hugs, which means the world to me.